നമസ്കാരം. ഇഫക്ട് ന്യൂസിലേക്ക് ഏവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം.
കൊച്ചി musiris ബിനാലെ 2025 ക്യൂറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ നിഖിൽ ചോപ്രയും HH ആർട്ട് സ്പേസസും. ബിനാലെ 6ാം പതിപ്പ് 2025 ഡിസംബർ 12 മുതൽ 2026 മാർച്ച് 31 വരെ. അടുത്ത വർഷാവസാനം ആരംഭിക്കുന്ന കൊച്ചി musiris ബിനാലെയുടെ KMB 6ാം പതിപ്പിൻ്റെ ക്യൂറേറ്ററായി നിഖിൽ ചോപ്രയും HH ആർട്ട് സ്പേസസും കൊച്ചി ബിനാലെ ഫൗണ്ടേഷന് വേണ്ടി മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി പിണറായി വിജയനാണ് ഇത് പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ചത്. കലാമേഖലയിൽ അന്താരാഷ്ട്ര തലത്തിൽ പ്രശസ്തരായ ഷാനൈ ധവേരി, ദയാനിധ സിംഗ്, റജീബ് സന്താനി, ജിതീഷ് കല്ലാട്ട്, ബോസ് കൃഷ്ണമാചാരി എന്നിവരടങ്ങിയ സമിതിയാണ് ക്യൂറേറ്ററെ തിരഞ്ഞെടുത്തത്. വൻകരകളിലെ സമകാലിക കലകൾ പ്രദർശിപ്പിക്കുന്ന 110 ദിവസത്തെ പരിപാടി 2025 ഡിസംബർ 12 മുതൽ 2026 മാർച്ച് 31 വരെ നടക്കുമെന്ന് മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി പിണറായി വിജയൻ പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ചു. ബിനാലെയുടെ സംഘാടകരായ കൊച്ചി ബിനാലെ ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ പ്രതിനിധികളുടെ സാന്നിധ്യത്തിലായിരുന്നു പ്രഖ്യാപനം.
On behalf of the Kochi Binale Foundation, I welcome all of you to this very important event. Respected Chief Minister of Kerala, Sri Pinarayi Vijayan, Honorable Minister for Tourism and Public Works, Sri Mohammad Riaz, Honorable Member of Parliament and Member of our Advisory Council, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, who is joining online, President of the Kochi musiris Binale, Sri Bose Krishnamachari, senior officers of the Government of Kerala, trustees, advisors and management officials of the Kochi Binale Foundation, dear members of the media, both national and the state media, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Venu, Chairperson of the Kochi Binale Foundation. It is a privilege to stand before you on this extremely important occasion for the foundation. As you are aware, the Kochi musiris Binale has become a spectacular art and cultural event. It has created its own space to be one of the most visited binales in the world. Showcases the best of cutting-edge art parts of the world, besides hosting a whole array of amazing talents from within the country. It has provided a robust platform for creative talent to blossom and given art lovers and art students a venue to familiarize themselves with new initiatives and movements in the art world. Over the years, the Biennale has also grown in its reputation as a brilliant example of several connections and partnerships. The city of Kochi and the artists and the communities around it, Kerala as a cultural destination in the tourism arena, but most important of all, it is a shining model of private-public partnership between the Government of Kerala and the Kochi Binale Foundation, which is tasked with delivering the Binale. Government has continued its generous financial support over the years, leaving the artistic and management matters in the hands of the experts in the foundation. It is true that we have had some challenges of late, but I am confident that the support and encouragement of the government will ensure that we will overcome all issues and deliver an event that will be better and bigger than all the other biennales. This is a very important occasion for us when the dates of the biennale are being announced and the curator who will determine the texture, the narrative, the complexity of what is going to be displayed in the next biennale, the name of the curator will be announced And it is a matter of great pride for the foundation that the Honorable Chief Minister himself has come to do the honors, to announce to the world the dates of the binale and the name of the curator of the 6th edition of the Kochi musiris binale. Sri Pinarayi Vijayan, over the years, has always found the time, kept the time aside to discuss matters vital to the functioning of the binale. Over the years, he has spent a lot of time for us to solve our issues, to hear our problems. Provided the visionary leadership that has nourished this unique partnership. At this juncture, on behalf of the fund, we would like to express our profound gratitude to you for the consideration and attention you have given to this event. We'd like to assure you on behalf of all the trustees and the advisors of the foundation that we are confident that we will deliver an event, a binale, that Kochi and Kerala will be proud of, fulfilling the trust that government has bestowed on us. With these words, I would like to invite Sri Pinarayi Vijayan, Honorable Chief Minister, to make the announcement.
Distinguished guests, artists and friends, it gives me immense pleasure to announce that the 6th edition of the Kochi musiris binale KMB 2025 will open its doors to the world on 12th December 2025 and will continue on till 31st March 2026. I am happy to further announce that Nikhil Chopra will be the curator of KMB 2025 along with his team, HH Spaces. Nikhil is a distinguished artist whose work blends performances, drawings, paintings, photographs, sculptures, and installations. KMB 2025 is supposed to be one of the most memorable editions of the Kochi musiris binale. Let us join together and celebrate this spectacular event that fosters the spirit of art, community, and dialogue. Today.
Thank you very much, sir. Honorable Minister for Tourism has decided not to speak once the Chief Minister has made the announcement. May I now call upon Dr. Shashi Tharoor, Honorable Member of Parliament and Member of the Advisory Council of the Foundation, to deliver his address. He is joining us online.
Respected Tourism Minister, Chairman of the Foundation, and indeed the very distinguished and creative people present. First of all, my apologies for not being with you. This morning I was detained unavoidably with meetings in the nation's capital, smog-ridden capital I might add, much rather have been in Thiruvananthapuram. But I'm very happy to join you virtually because the Kochi musiris binale has made a profound impact on both Kerala and on India's art scene since its inception on that memorable date of 12/12/12, the 12th of December 2012. As the largest contemporary art festival in Asia, it has transformed Kochi into a vibrant hub for international and Indian artists, and it fosters a rich cultural exchange that we can all be proud of. I also welcome the selection of Nikhil Chopra as this edition's curator. Nikhil Chopra's artistic practice ranges between live art, theatre, painting, photography, sculpture, and installation. Such a range of art that we can show at the Biennale. His performances, in large part improvised, also dwell on such issues as identity, autobiography, self-portraiture, and reflects on the processes of self-transformation and of course, the combination of everyday life with collective history. I think Keralites would really appreciate his role in curating this edition of the Biennale. I do want to add a word about the extraordinary contributions that the Biennale has made to India's art scene since 2012. It has really provided a prestigious platform for Indian artists to showcase their work alongside international peers, enhancing their visibility and opportunities on the global stage. It's put India on the global art map. It has also encouraged innovation, experimentation, because of the diverse mediums it facilitates, such as installations, new media, performance art, and the selection of Nikhil Chopra underscores that. And then I would particularly add a word for the cultural dialogue and exchange that the Biennale has facilitated, bringing together artists, curators, and audiences from different backgrounds to engage with contemporary issues through art. There have also been talks. I've been privileged to give a couple of talks over the years, and that too attract an important audience. I do want to say in the presence of the Chief Minister how important it is that the government of Kerala continue to support the Biennale, because the Biennale has revitalized Kerala's and Kochi's cultural landscape. It has, of course, brought attention, global attention, to our state's rich heritage and contemporary art scene, and that is something that is of inestimable value in terms of the image of Kerala around. It's also been an enormous boost for tourism by attracting thousands of visitors from around the world. The Biennale has significant tourism, everything from the elite hotels, the five-star eateries, to the smallest chayakaras are absolutely full during the 4 months of the Biennale. This benefits our economy, it promotes cultural tourism, it is good for Kerala. And I would say that it has also engaged local communities through educational programs, workshops, public art projects, and that was a very good initiative of the Biennale, very consciously done, in order to promote a deeper appreciation for the art amongst the residents. So it's not a foreign implant on the soil of Kochi, but something that the people of Kochi can claim with pride as their own. Overall, the Kochi musiris Biennale has not only enriched Kerala's cultural fabric, but it has also positioned India as a significant player, Kerala and India, as significant players in the global art scene. And its contributions, I believe, will continue to inspire and elevate the artistic community, making it a cornerstone of our cultural identity as Kerala and as India. I want to pledge my personal continued support for the work of the Biennale and to add my voice to the request to the government of Kerala to continue its sterling support, maintain it, and even increase it in the years to come. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Tharoor. Thank you very much for your wonderful words. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard that the next Biennale will open on the 12th of December, 2025. And we also know the name of Mr. Nikhil Chopra, who is going to be the curator. I would now like to request the president of the Kochi musiris Biennale, Mr. Bose Krishnamachari, who's been the driving force of all the Biennales we have held till this 5th edition, to introduce before us Sri Nikhil Chopra and HH Art Spaces.
Namaskaram. It is an honor to introduce the celebrated artist Nikhil Chopra, curator of Kochi musiris Biennale 2025. Nikhil, doing with HH Art Spaces, will be leading the curatorial efforts at KMB 2025. The curator was selected following a considered process by an eminent jury comprising of Rajiv Samdani, founder of the Dhaka Art Summit, Shanay Javeri, curator of the Barbican Center, London, artist Dainida Singh, Jitish Kallat, who was curator of Kochi musiris Biennale 2014, and myself. Nikhil is known for his evocative and immersive works. Nikhil collaborations with Kochi Biennale Foundation will undoubtedly bring a fresh and dynamic perspective to the Biennale, delivering an experience and promises to resonate deeply with the visitors both from Kerala and around the world. Nikhil has participated in some of the world's most important exhibitions, including Documenta in Castle, through Venice Biennale, and has exhibited his work and performed at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Tate Modern, amongst others. I now invite Nikhil to deliver his presentation. Thank you very much on behalf of Kochi Binale Foundation and advisors of the Binale Foundation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We now have a presentation of Mr. Nikhil Chopra's work and practice and what he wants, his vision for the next Binale. Sir, it's a audiovisual presentation. Would you like to hear, sir?
Start with a thanks. I want to thank the Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Vijayan, for introducing me. I'm honored to have the presence of the Minister of Tourism, Mr. Riaz. Thank you to Bose Krishnamachari, President of the Kochi Musiris Biennial and the Foundation, also my old friend. Thank you to my new friend, Thomas Verghese, the CEO of the foundation. Thank you, Dr. Venu. We're gonna be really getting to know each other very well over the next year and a half. Thank you, Mr. Tharoor, for tuning in from Delhi. I really appreciate your mind, and I've been following your work, so it's wonderful to hear you introduce me. I'm deeply honored, and I'm humbled. I have to say, I'm very humbled by this ambitious task and this enormous task. To carry the Biennale through an interesting new phase. I also want to thank HH Art Spaces. HH Art Spaces is my team. They are my pillars, of which my partner and my wife Madhavi is here, who's also one of the founding members of HH Art Spaces. And I want to say partnerships. I want to use the word partnerships, and you're going to hear me using the word partnerships a lot through this biennial, a lot through the year and a half, because I really believe that things don't happen in singularity. Things happen when we come together, and I think it's in that togetherness where we feel the force and our soft power to use art and culture to change the world, because we're dreamers, and that's what I appreciate about this Biennale, is to invite an artist as a curator, because I think we bring something to it which is perhaps different from someone who looks at art as a study, but someone who looks at art as a maker, I think adds a very kind of interesting layer to what an art exhibition needs. I want to take you through the next 20 minutes, if you will allow me to take you through a little journey about my practice as an artist, and not just as an artist, but also someone who's always looked at collaborations and partnerships as a means of creating. And you will see that. And through this presentation, I guess what you will find is certain hints about what perhaps the vision for this next biennial is going to be. So I've picked projects based on extending from these projects into perhaps what's going to be a spectacular and an exciting biennale, a critical biennale, an international biennale that's going to bring some very stellar voices and some very stellar minds to Kochi. I'm not a stranger to Kochi, I have to say. I went to school in Ernakulam as a 5 and a 6-year-old. I went to Bharati Vidya Bhavan. So some of my very early childhood has been spent here. I was 5 and 6. We spent 2 years here. My father was working with a bank. And then when we moved to the Middle East, I went to Indian high school in Bahrain and Indian high school in Dubai, where so many of my teachers and mentors were from Kerala. And then I went on to go to art school. So some of my favorite teachers and mentors are really from this state. So there is a little bit of Kerala in me, and there is a little bit of an understanding, I guess, of the ethos of this place and the culture of this place, which is, I think, a very important place to start from. You know, it is a public project, but at some level there has to be something personal at stake here. And I'm really interested to connect the personal and the political with this next edition of the Biennale. But let me run you through, if I can request for the slideshow to be played, then I'll run you through some of the projects. But my career essentially starts in 2005 when I returned to India after my education in the United States, and I come back with a master's. And I create this first absolutely fictional character in my practice called Sir Raja III, in collaboration with one of my closest friends and talented people like Munir Kabani, who's an amazing photographer and an amazing costume designer, called Tabashir Zutshi. And together we create this imaginary character, this sort of pathetic kind of relic of the empire, and place him in a live performance along with those black and white photographs of this Maharaja wandering through the Kashmir landscape saying, what will I do with all this land? But what really brings my practice together and an understanding of the fact that we don't make art alone, that we don't make art in a vacuum, is my return to Kashmir in a fictional persona that is based around my grandfather. And what this performance did for me was, as it was in partnership with an international organization called Khoj in Delhi, was that everybody involved in making your artwork is implicated into the artwork. So each and every person in this audience actually plays a very significant role in making a project and a performance happen. The art school students who became very close to us during this time of this residency that I did, and this model is something that I really enjoy, which is to immerse oneself for a particular period of time in a geography, in a landscape, in a place, and from that place, ideas emerge. And so by spending, like, of course, a large part of my childhood was spent in Kashmir because this is where my family is from, I found that bringing myself back to this land as a performer really allowed me to take a very critical stand about who I am, where I am, and what I can do as an artist to sort of exorcise those demons, if you will, and dismantle stereotypes, if you will, to create a completely new language and a new understanding that has healing and trauma is built to it. So the wounds of, let's say, the valley, like, we can begin to start to at least talk about some of that. But this fictional character was created in Bombay, which is where I started my career. And I got critical feedback and was able actually to take this work to a prestigious exhibition like Venice Biennale. It was also actually, I have to point that it was actually Bose Krishnamachari who took notice of my early endeavors as Sir Raja and was the first person to actually buy an artwork from me. So I really think Bose has this intuitive ability to sort of like know or sort of pick talent, and I really am a result of that as well. So as you can see, the idea of traveling across the world was very important to me. But unless and until I didn't get to know my own city, I didn't feel complete. So I did a performance in which I walked from the north end of the city to the south end of the city and carried with me a large piece of canvas and placed it in public space and made a drawing of some of the most iconic parts of the city and carried that drawing back as if I was carrying, which a lot of comments I got on the street was, dead body kahan leke ja raha hai? Like, where are you taking this dead body? And it was, in a sense, it's sort of ironic that I was doing a live performance and what came across was this idea of carrying something with me, that our bodies are actually containers of memory. And in that, we are our own museum, we are our own archive, and we carry that archive. Sometimes that's a burden, but at the end of the day, what we want to use this archive or this museum that we create in our bodies as a means to set ourselves free, as a means to trouble the language around how people perceive us. It's an exhibition that has critical prestige, so it's not necessarily about market value and sensationalizing, but it takes a look at work that has a critical edge to it. So there was obviously this demand on me to kind of look at my practice critically. And what I essentially did was I connected the two cities that were going to host this exhibition that year, Athens and Kassel. I linked them up with a road journey that took me from Athens to Kassel in the form of a 30-day long performance. And in that performance, I stopped in 8 locations. I stopped at places that I was able to connect with and make partnerships with artist residency space, small-scale artist festivals, dance schools, school for music, school for fine art. So in a sense, I was curating my own practice within a landscape. I was placing myself within the context of an artwork in places that you wouldn't ordinarily experience an artwork. Like, for example, in the end of this performance, I land up at a place called the main railway station. And what I was able to do is I was able to line up all the drawings that I had made in my tent as a nomad across that landscape as one continuous landscape. And I thought this should be the last set of slides that I show you, which is essentially my relationship with the Kochi musiris biennial as an artist. And it essentially changed my life, and it really was riveting for me to be in this moment. I spent 60 hours in Aspinwall House in a room that I converted into a prison cell by painting black stripes and white stripes. And in the white stripes, I would draw what I could see outside the window. And in the end, in an attempt to escape from this so-called conceptual prison, I twist one of the bars and escape in the form of a Spanish conquistador that looks more like a pathetic clown than a leader or a colonizer that one is intimidated with. And in a sense, to use the work to heal our wounds, our historic wounds, our intergenerational wounds. I carry out these sort of peace performances. They are, at the end of the day, about peace. And so, like the last sort of person from Empire would have left on a boat, in a very similar way, I depart from Kochi on the Periyar River in a little boat, being rowed away, waving my red handkerchief and saying goodbye to the biennial. So entries and exits, I think, are very necessary for us to articulate. And I feel very privileged to have been part of this biennial, and with this, I would like to enter and immerse myself in the next year and a half to create an experience that I think everybody will remember in a very, very positive way. Thank you.
Any questions from the media? We'll be happy to take questions. I request Mr. Bose to be here. Thomas, Madhuri, can you please come over? As we're getting ready, may I also recognize the presence of our trustees, both who have joined here and online. We have Mr. Tony Joseph here, Mr. Bonnie Thomas, and Ms. Madhavan sir. We have Mr. Vijay Raghavan. Online we have Mariam Brown, Kiran Nader, Shabana Faisal, who have all joined online. So thank you very much, dear trustees and advisors who joined us. I also want to recognize the presence of our Director Tourism representing the Government of Kerala. Can you please come forward? Shikha.
Election days.
So they have an engagement, so if there are no other questions, then we can break for lunch. I think lunch is served. Thomas, do you want to make those announcements?
If there aren't any more questions from the media, then we can break for lunch. Any questions from the media? No. Okay, so thank you. Thank you very much.
Effect News. So, Sana kande sandosham.
Sandosham.
You're welcome, sir.
All the best.
Yes, smile please. Smile. Abo.
Thank you.
Effect News, all the best.
Thank you.
Nice specs.
Nice specs.
Nice specs.
Fashion.
What don't you have?
I'm not as stylish as this guy. Not as stylish.
So, all those.
Thank you.